Production funding is provided by A. Reddix and Associates, Health Information Resource Center, offering short-term training for long-term professional careers in medical coding. HIRCVA.net.
Discussing the issues and celebrating the successes of the African American community. This is Another View.
Hello everyone, I'm Barbara Hamley. Welcome to Another View. On Election Day, the voters in Portsmouth elected business owner and native Ken Wright as their new mayor. Mayor Wright takes over a city wounded after the recall of former Mayor James Holley. But that's not the only issue. Portsmouth needs robust economic development and some say an image makeover. We are honored to have Mayor Wright here to tell us about his city and his plans to ensure that Portsmouth is a vibrant part of Hampton Roads. Welcome to Another View, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Now,
glad to be here. From
an outsider's perspective, they would say Portsmouth is the smallest city in Hampton Roads, has crime, it's predominantly African American, needs jobs, not sure about the school system, not quite sure where it fits in the program. Is that your city?
No, and that's quite a bit. Portsmouth is a great place to live, work, play, enjoy yourself. We in Portsmouth are very passionate about our city and the things that we'd like to see, and we're very involved. We have a lot of people with a lot of different opinions, and I'm one of those people. I'm telling you, I love a good argument, but we have business for the citizens that we need to do, and that's the reason why I ran. I appreciate our citizens and I appreciate the things, but our image sometimes gets overblown with a negative connotation because of various things. But no, Portsmouth is an excellent place to live and work, and I'm excited about being their head cheerleader.
Well, one of the biggest things that you're going to have to do is bring the council back together, probably some people within the city in terms of some of the turmoil that happened after the recall of Mayor Holley. I know you want to move beyond that, so because it's time to grow on. So what are some of the things that you plan to do so that you can help the citizens move beyond that? Well,
first of all, we talk about bringing our council together. Our council is together. I've been very impressed. We had our first council meeting Tuesday night. My first meeting with them was Monday. We made a huge decision selecting a person to fill the vacant seat that we had, and I was very impressed with our council. We've got an experienced group that I respect because the citizens elected them to be there, and when the people speak, you must listen. And those council people, and I've got to know quite a few of them through the years, and now on a different level, has been interesting. And I've been impressed so far. I've been excited with our closed-door conversations and out in the public. I'm encouraged that we can be able to do this and move the city forward.
So everybody's ready to move
Everybody's
forward.
ready to go.
Including the sheriff?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've got a great sheriff. I like the sheriff. He came and pledged the night of at our victory celebration that he's 100% behind our council and behind this mayor and excited about the things that he can do. And we want to involve our sheriff. We want to involve everybody in our city because, again, we're all passionate people and we all want to help and we all want to do things. So we just need to make sure we're all doing the right thing so we can move forward in a positive way and in a positive light. So yeah, we're excited. Yeah.
Now you ran on a platform of economic development. You know, you're a businessman yourself. Yes. You know how important that is. Tell us some of the things that you're thinking in terms of how to bring jobs and bring business to Portsmouth.
Well, Portsmouth has a lot of available property. There are a lot of opportunities here in Portsmouth. We've just got a new campus at TCC that opened up about a year ago, and their workforce development and some of the needs that we have and our citizens have. I'm looking for forging a relationship with them. I'm, as you know, an apprentice graduate. I graduated from Wilson High School. I went through the apprenticeship program and graduated from there and went through community college and then over to Old Dominion. And part of the things that I have been impressed with myself and other people is we've got a lot of hands-on folks in our city. We've got a lot of people that are good technicians, and we're losing a lot of that, and I'm very interested in trying to develop that. We've got in our school system CTE courses and things that will help our citizens become more hands-on, the ones that are not interested in going to college naturally, to be able to earn decent jobs. And so we want to work that tandem tandem with going out and try to invite businesses into our community to be able to create jobs for our citizens. But we want to make sure we've got an available workforce and people to be able to do that.
I want to touch on that a little bit, Kenny, because you know the trade occupation, profession, kind of got a bad rap for a long time. Everybody had to be pushed towards going to college, and I was at an Urban League conference recently, and we were talking about that very fact, that people are, because things seem to becoming more knowledge based, that all of a sudden it's not a cool thing to do things with your hands, if you will. You don't believe that?
Absolutely not. I am a hands-on guy. I'm an engineer. I love to get my hands dirty. I like to be involved with things, and that's because of that work ethic, that apprenticeship, and learning on-the-job training and going to school. That's vital. It's vital because it gives you different perspectives. Normally, as an apprentice, you're working with older workers that tend to have different viewpoints on things, and so you listen to them on the job, and then you go to the classroom and your professor tells you something else, and you know, as a young apprentice, you get to pretty much pick up on both sides and learn what to say when you're on the job and what to say in the classroom. But no, absolutely not. It is vital that we get more apprentices and get more young people involved with hands-on type things. There are bunch of organizations that are now getting together, a lot of consortiums that are coming together because of that very issue, the lack of skilled workforce, and not just Portsmouth, but all over Hampton Roads. I mean, there are, you know, you look 10, 15 years down the road and ask who are going to be the next electricians, welders, designers, and things of that nature. And that's what these apprenticeship programs and that's what these workforce development organizations are trying to replace. We got to get back to that. You're looking at a young man that never thought I was college material, and coming up out of high school, and my father was in World War II. If he was alive today, he'd be 97 years old. Wow. And growing up as a young kid, all I heard Daddy talked about was those young apprentice boys. And I always wanted to be an apprentice boy because of Daddy. But and once I got in there and understood the whole apprentice concept and the training and on the job, you know, it made me then want to go back to school to get the theory behind a lot of the things that you do, because being an engineer, you always want to know why you do things and why things happen. And so the theory behind what you do, whether you're building this table or that cup or glass, there's a sense of wanting to know why you do something. And then there's a group of people that just want to do it. And that's fine too, but I came from that group that always wanted to know why. I always want to drill down to
So
things.
have you met with Dr. Stuckwich and others within the school system then and are you interested in working through the Portsmouth schools to help move some of this?
Oh, absolutely. We were very good friends. As you know, I was chairman of the Portsmouth School Foundation. I was also chairman of Star-Based Victory, which is a program that teaches our 4th, 5th, and 6th grade kids about building rockets and shooting them off and learning about the ecosystem, learning about mapping and different historical sites in our city. And I'm very involved with our school system, and I'm pleased with the direction that we're going in. We've got a lot of great programs.
So how do you change the perception that Portsmouth doesn't have good schools?
You just got to do it. You got to do. We're putting out young people now. Good case in point, there's a young man that's over at Old Dominion, where I graduated from, started this year. We started a first robotics program some 3 or 4 years ago, and I think he was a sophomore, maybe a junior, when we first introduced that. And I was very involved with helping the school system get that off the ground. And remember that young man and the excitement he had, and when we built the robot and all of the different things that we went through, you know, a lot of failures trying to make the robot do this and that, and it wouldn't do it, and then scrapping everything and starting over. But that young man now is an engineering student over at Old Dominion University, and he just had a summer intern over at NASA. And you look at that, and you look at all of the other kids that programs like that are affecting. I mean, in our school systems, we got early childhood development, culinary arts. There are a bunch of things going on in our school system, and we see these kids, and we need to get that story out to everyone. And I want to be that person, starting with me, absolutely. And you know, perceptions, it sometimes takes a while to change because people like to believe what they want to believe, and we're kind of like a show me state. We show me that you're changing. So we're on the right path. I'm excited about our school system, our superintendent, the school board chair, Mr. Bridgeford. We're all in it together. We're excited about the things we're doing. We've got a lot of good programs. I'd like to bring you guys over and show you some of those things so you won't think it's just talk.
Absolutely. We'd be happy to come over and take a look.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay. What about crime?
Well, our crime rate has dropped tremendously in Portsmouth. As a matter of fact,
I'm really glad to hear you say that, because I think a lot of people outside of Portsmouth don't think that.
Yeah, we got a great chief. He was just speaking the other night to the council about crime rates and some of the things that they're doing to offset some of those things. I was kind of excited to hear that. I know we talk a lot about gangs and different things, and that's just not in Portsmouth. And Chesapeake, Norfolk, they're all over. And how we get to our young people and how we identify with them and to them and love them and show them that there are other opportunities, a lot of those things will fall by the wayside. A lot of our children don't feel connected to us, and hopefully me being a different generational type mayor and being able to reach those young people, they'll we can start a different process of contact, and that's what it's all about with our young folks. Being able to contact, being able to keep them excited about learning, keep them excited about the things that are going on in their city and in their neighborhoods, and then getting them involved. And I'm a huge proponent of that.
How will Portsmouth play with others and within Hampton Roads? Where do you see your city now when you come to the regional table in discussing things?
Very good question. I am excited about the role that we're going to play. I'm more interested in how well the region gets along, because too often and in the past we've always had a bad image problem with a regional perspective. How does Norfolk and Virginia Beach and Chesapeake? But now we see that it's vital that we all come together for this whole metropolitan area. I mean, Northern Virginia is doing it. A lot of other larger cities are doing it. There are a lot of federal dollars going there that are not coming here because we don't have that togetherness. And I'm excited about Portsmouth, our role and how we play in it, but I'm more excited about all of our sister cities and everybody getting to the table and finding out just what each city has to offer, and kind of emphasizing those strengths from each city, and not more of a competition because Norfolk has this, we need one. No, we need to all work together, and we need to find out what all of our strengths are so we can put this quilt together. And I'm excited about it because we've got a lot of initiatives. Transportation is huge right now. There's a lot of pros and cons of different things that we hear that's coming out of VDOT and various places, tolls, high-speed rail, light rail, and I'm excited about that. We can use this as an opportunity to grow our cities economically, and I'm huge on economics, and I believe those things will help us in the future, but we have got to come together as a region.
Have you heard from the other mayors?
Oh, absolutely. I've got calls from all of them congratulating me. I had lunch yesterday with Mayor Frame in Norfolk. I'm very impressed. He's a real nice guy, but I was impressed with him before I became mayor. He's, I love to highlight positives in our area, and when I, as a business person, travel and go places, you always refer to, you're either from Norfolk or Virginia Beach, because everybody relates to the bases or the whole vacation spots on the beach and all. But yeah, when guys like Mayor Frame and folks in Chesapeake and Suffolk, yeah, we got a good group here. We've got a good group. Portsmouth can be an excellent piece to that, but we've got a lot of strong people here in our region.
You were born and raised in Portsmouth. So how have you seen your city grow, and now that you have the opportunity to move it even further forward, where are you going to take it?
Well, I think it's the question ought to be where we're going to take it, because I'm a team guy. I really am. I'm not one that's interested in the credit. I'm an engineer. We like to steal credit sometimes, but no, I'm interested in all of us achieving, and that's the only way we're going to move forward, is all of us get on board and rally behind whoever the leader is. And I don't mind rotating the chairs. We don't have to have the same leader all the time, and put different people in key positions positions to be able to do different things, because everybody has different talents, and it's the onus is on us to be able to capitalize on that. Check out our citizens. I've got a letter going out this Sunday in the paper to all of our citizens talking about that very issue, getting involved with different organizations and boards and commissions, getting involved with our city. There are a lot of things we need to get done. We can't just do it as a council or as a mayor or superintendent. We need our citizens from all walks of life.
When on election day, you had a lot of young people come out to support you. That's something that I think is very important to you in terms of getting young people involved in the political process.
Oh, absolutely. We had in our campaign a youth advisory group, and I was very encouraged behind it. A lot of things that we did in our campaign came from our younger citizens, and as you well know, I've been involved and done a lot of things in our school system and a lot of social organizations. I was past president of the Eureka Club, past president of the Pan-Atlantic Council, and involved with my fraternity, and a lot of those things. We did a lot of things in the community, and one of the things I'm proud of is, as president of the Eureka Club, you know, the Eurekas every year have a debutante cotillion, and we present about 30 young ladies each year, and I was excited that a lot of those debutantes that are off in college now wanted to come get involved with our campaign, sending emails, talking about getting on Facebook, making a video. All of those things we did was because of them, and I was excited about that, but I want to keep that momentum because we really need to get our younger citizens involved with the process so we have a good balance.
You are a businessman, a father, a husband. Where did this desire to run for mayor come from?
Actually, the desire came from out of the recall. It troubled me, the recall, and I've been extremely pleased with being a citizen in the background, working to help our schools and help different organizations and become a good dad. I've got 4 young daughters, and it just troubled me. And I always think when I see things and do things, what do our children think about what's going on? What do our kids think about what I just said? Because I'm part of the problem and the solution. I mean, we all tend to do things sometime and don't look at it from that perspective. And it was troubling that what went on and how I saw a divide in our city, and I had quite a few people calling saying, Kenny, you're the guy, you need to. And I'm like, no, I'm not the guy. But you know, it's interesting to see how you develop as a young man in your city and earn respect from all different sides of different walks of life. And when I announced to do that, it was just overwhelming, the number of people that called and wanted to be a part of the campaign, wanted to give me advice. I love that. I love advice. A lot of them say I'm hard-headed and won't listen, but I love it. It was exciting. It was exciting times, it really was, and we wanted to run a good campaign. I didn't want to be negative. We had started out with 8 candidates, right, yeah. And that was interesting. It killed me because during some of the political forums that we had, you didn't get enough time to talk, and you can tell I love to talk. And we had to wait our turn, and somebody else would give my answer that I wanted to give, and it would upset me, but that's part of the process, and it made me a stronger candidate and hopefully a better mayor. And I wanted, and I did the night of my oath of office. Thanked all of the candidates and all of the positive things that came out of that election.
You're all about bringing people together at this point.
Absolutely.
Let's come together and
big
do this.
tent. I mean, part of doing our campaign, I got kind of lambasted by a lot of people talking about how do you want to be a uniter, but you've got this person or you've got that person. I'm a big tent guy. I want everybody from all different viewpoints to come in, have your say. Let's listen to what you have to say, but then let's respect the process so we can move on. And I've always been like that. It's not just a political thing. It's want to hear what everybody has to say.
We've got about 2 minutes left. Okay. How has this affected your family?
Oh, we're real excited. My daughters love it. They like all of the cameras. My twins were interested and concerned because during the campaign we tried to visit as many organizations and churches, and my 6-year-olds wanted to know why we kept changing churches every week. And I had to explain to her that we weren't changing churches, but Daddy's got to get out and get to see everybody. But it's been very interesting because my daughters are old enough now to understand politics and government and civics, and it's been a real lesson. And we were very active in Delegate Matthew James' campaign, and my oldest daughter understood it, and my 9-year-old kind of understood it, and so this time around with me running, they hear some things when they talk about Daddy they don't like, and then they ask, did you do that or did you say that? So after you leave work and leave the campaign trail, you got to come home and you got little ones to explain.
Keep you grounded, don't they?
They keep you grounded, absolutely. But it is exciting. It's good to be able to do that, and hopefully I can bring that perspective to Portsmouth and from a leadership standpoint, because you've got to be able to do it. You've got to be able to operate with other mayors and CEOs, and at the same time you got to go home to a 6-year-old daughter and explain to her what you did today. And yes, it does. It keeps you grounded.
Well, you know, Mayor, I love talking to you, and I could talk to you for another hour, but we are out of time for right now. But we will stay in touch. We will come over and take a look at those programs you were telling us about in the school system, and and we'll be having you back on the show real soon. So
thank you very much.
And when we come back, a historic building used to educate African Americans in Suffolk gets a new makeover to help today's youth. But first, here's what's happening in Hampton Roads. A building once used to educate African American students during segregation has been revamped to once again meet the needs of the community. Our Lisa Godley takes us to the old East Suffolk High School and shows us how its new mission as a recreational facility is once again changing lives.
It would have been very easy to come in and just gut the place and start over, but that would have defeated the purpose. We were able to salvage a lot of the character and a lot of the history here.
For close to 30 years, students walked the corridors of East Suffolk High School. It was an era when things were separate, but certainly not equal.
They didn't just come to school and go home. They had to come in early, get the boiler going, the students now, get everything up and running so that when everybody else got here, the place was starting to warm up.
Nevertheless, with the aid of dedicated instructors and supportive parents, in these classrooms, they got a good education. Suffolk's Vice Mayor Curtis Miltier remembers his time at East Suffolk High School very well.
We had one of the smallest classes. 1950 had a class of about 48 students, okay? Other classes were 180 and so forth. Quite a few of the members have passed away. We have a meeting maybe every 2 years. I knew that education was something that was necessary, and we needed it.
He says someone else who knew that was the school's principal, William Lavelle Turner.
He wanted to make sure that every student was able to develop to full maturity. He knew what life in the South was about, and he wanted us to make preparation for life.
From the day it opened in 1939 through the mid-1960s, East Suffolk High School continued to shape lives. But its use as a school ended shortly after John F. Kennedy High School opened its doors. The building would be used to serve the community in various capacities for about 10 more years and close once again. The East Suffolk High School building sat empty from the mid-1970s until it was renovated in 2007. And much to the pleasure of many, it was dedicated in 2009. With ideas and suggestions from the community and former students, East Suffolk High School became the city's newest recreational facility. Its design maintains much of the old high school's character while providing all of the amenities of the new millennium. Here, young people can gather to talk or watch television in one room, while seniors do activities or have lunch in another. There's a computer room for research, an exercise room for working out. You wouldn't know it from the outside, but there's a full-size gymnasium for sporting events and social gatherings. The school's alums even have their own space.
Just talking to some of the citizens in this part of town, you'll find out how proud they are of this facility, what it means to this community. So it's been a great tool that's bringing citizens from other part of our city that typically were not coming to this part of the city, had no reason to come into this part of the city, East Suffolk. You see that those barriers and those have been broken down, and I think it's done a lot to bring our total city community together as well as the immediate community. We want this facility to always be remembered for what it was as well as for what it is. For generations to come, the young adults and the new people coming to use the facility always have a reference to what this facility, what the history of this facility was all about.
For Another View, I'm Lisa Godley.
And we'd also like to mention that the East Suffolk Recreation Center recently received an award for the best statewide renovation of an existing facility. Judges complimented the center's innovative design and overall excellence, so congratulations to them. And that's our show for this evening. Be sure to visit our website, anotherview.tv, and sign up for our eView newsletter. And check us out on Facebook. Next week, the diabetes epidemic in the African American community. We'll see you next time for Another View.
Production funding is provided by A. Reddix and Associates, Health Information Resource Center, offering short-term training for long-term professional careers in medical coding. HIRCVA.net.